You know what's wild? Every supplement sitting on your shelf right now, every single one, exists because a plant did it first. Your multivitamin? A plant was doing that for thousands of years. That energy drink? Plants were keeping people alert before chemistry class existed. Your expensive skin cream? There's literally a plant that's been doing this better, for free, since before markets were even invented. But here's the thing. We got so caught up buying versions of things, we forgot we could just use the actual things. So today, I'm showing you 15 edible plants that aren't just healthy. They're doing the exact job you're paying supplements to do. And some of them you've probably walked past 100 times without knowing what they actually were. Make sure you hit subscribe because we post videos every week that show you what's actually possible when you work with nature instead of trying to buy a replacement for it. In this video, we're not just listing plants, we're organizing them by how they support your body. We'll start with nutrient-dense plants that work like natural multivitamins, then move into those that support whole body adaptation and longevity. From there, we'll explore plants for heart and circulation, skin and cellular support, and digestion, one of the most overlooked areas. We'll also cover immune support, and later, plants that affect your mind, focus, energy, and resilience. And at the end, we'll get into something more subtle but just as important, plants that help calm the mind, improve sleep, and support your nervous system. Let's go. Number 1. Moringa, the botanical multivitamin. Let's start with something most people have never heard of, Moringa. If you wanted to describe this plant in one sentence, it would be this. Moringa is what happens when you take one plant and pack it with the nutrients most of us get from a dozen different foods. The leaves contain a broad spectrum of vitamins and minerals, vitamin A, C, K, calcium, iron, magnesium, and potassium. When you look at the nutrient density compared to how light these leaves are, it's genuinely remarkable. Moringa has been used for thousands of years across Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, not as a medicine, but as food. It's a survival plant. When food was scarce, communities knew Moringa kept people functioning. Here's what you can actually do with it. The easiest way is to brew the dried leaves as tea. Steep 2-3 dried leaves in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The taste is mild, slightly peppery, similar to watercress. You can add it to soups, blend it into smoothies with a teaspoon of powder, or use the young pods, called drumsticks, in curries, which is how it's traditionally prepared across South Asia. The reason Moringa disappeared from Western awareness has nothing to do with the plant and everything to do with agriculture. When monoculture farming took over, we stopped growing anything that didn't have a huge industrial market. Moringa requires actual knowledge. It's easy to grow, but you can't throw it in a field and forget it the way you can with corn. For anyone wanting to add a genuinely nutrient-dense plant to their diet, especially if you live somewhere warm or have a greenhouse, Moringa is the botanical multivitamin that's been hidden in plain sight. Like this video if you've never heard of Moringa before. I'm genuinely curious how many people have walked past this plant without knowing what it does. 2. Nettle leaf, the common weed that's actually a mineral bank. Here's something that's going to shift your perspective. One of the most mineral-rich plants you can eat is probably growing in the corner of your yard right now. Nettle. I know, it's a weed. Your instinct is to avoid it, but that's exactly why it's so nutritious. Weeds are opportunistic plants. They grow where nothing else bothers trying. They survive in poor soil. And the way they survive is by being incredible mineral accumulators. Nettle leaf contains significant amounts of iron, calcium, magnesium, silica, and potassium. When herbalists talk about nettle as a foundational herb, they mean it. The mineral content is genuinely impressive. Traditionally, it was used across Europe as a spring tonic. Every spring, people would brew nettle tea to rebuild their systems after winter. Modern herbalists still use it the same way, and there's good reason. The bioavailable mineral content is substantial. Here's the practical part. You can wild harvest nettle, but only from clean sources away from roads and pesticide use. Look for the young growth at the top of plants before they flower. Or you can buy dried nettle leaf from any herb supplier. Brew 1 cup of fresh leaves or 1 tablespoon of dried leaf in hot water. Steep 5 to 10 minutes. The taste is grassy, mild, almost pleasant. Some people describe it as herbaceous. You can drink 1 to 3 cups daily. One important note. Some people experience mild digestive effects or increased urination. It's a mild diuretic. If you're pregnant, consult a healthcare provider first. Nettle is generally considered safe during pregnancy, but worth checking with someone who knows your specific situation. What makes nettle special isn't just the minerals, it's that it's free, or nearly free. If it's growing wild near you, you just walk out and harvest it. That's the whole point of why traditional cultures used it. It was reliable, abundant, and genuinely nutritious. For anyone wanting to add mineral density to your diet without buying expensive supplements, nettle leaf is the common weed that's been underestimated for generations.
Now we're moving into something more specialized. These next plants aren't just nutrients. They're what traditional medicine calls adaptogens. And before you roll your eyes at that term, understand what it actually means. An adaptogen is a plant that contains compounds helping your body respond to different kinds of demands: physical stress, mental stress, fatigue, or intense work. Number 3, Schisandra berry, the 5-flavor fruit. In traditional Chinese medicine, Schisandra berry is called the 5-flavor fruit. If you've ever tasted it, you understand why. It's sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and spicy all in one berry. The reason this matters: in traditional medicine, a plant that balanced all 5 tastes was thought to support overall balance. Modern research has started catching up to this idea. Schisandra contains compounds called lignans and phenolic compounds that researchers have begun studying for their potential role in supporting the body's stress response. Is this a proven cure-all? No. Is there emerging research? Yes. And more importantly, it's been used safely for thousands of years across Asia, specifically for supporting overall wellness during demanding periods. Here's how to use it. You can steep 5 to 10 dried berries in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes to make a tea. The taste is complex, tart, slightly sweet, a bit spicy. Some people prefer to add it to broths or soups for a gentler flavor integration. You can also find it in traditional herbal formulations. One note: Schisandra may interact with certain medications, particularly those metabolized by the liver. If you're on prescription medications, check with a healthcare provider first. Traditional use: 5 to 10 berries daily, or as part of herbal protocols that might use it with other adaptogens. The reason Schisandra disappeared from Western awareness is the same reason many plants did. We had no culinary tradition with it, and pharmaceutical companies have no interest in promoting plants they can't patent. But in Asia, it never disappeared. It's still considered a core longevity plant. For anyone interested in adaptogens, plants that help your body meet demands more effectively, Schisandra is the 5-flavor berry that's been optimized over thousands of years.
Number 4, Astragalus root, the longevity herb. Astragalus is used differently than most plants on this list. You don't brew it quickly, you simmer it for a long time. And the reason is that Astragalus works by accumulating in your system. In traditional Chinese medicine, Astragalus has been used for thousands of years as a longevity plant. It's one of the 5 most important herbs in Chinese herbalism. The logic was simple. If you want a long, resilient life, you give your body consistent access to plants that support that kind of resilience. Modern research has started investigating Astragalus compounds, particularly polysaccharides, and how they might support immune function and cellular resilience. Here's how to use it. Astragalus comes as dried root slices. You simmer 1 to 2 slices in soups, broths, or water for 20 to 30 minutes. The flavor is mildly sweet, earthy. Traditional preparation is to add it to chicken or bone broths, letting it simmer as the broth develops. Daily use. You can have Astragalus-infused broth 3 to 5 times a week, or add it to your regular cooking. One important note: if you have an autoimmune condition, check with a healthcare provider before using Astragalus regularly. While it's generally safe, autoimmune conditions need individual consideration. What makes Astragalus special is that it's not about quick results. It's about consistency. You use it for months, and the idea is that your body becomes more resilient, more able to handle stress, more durable. That's the traditional claim. Modern research is still investigating whether that's accurate, but the safety profile across thousands of years of use is solid. For anyone wanting to incorporate a longevity plant that's been valued across Asia for thousands of years, Astragalus is the foundational herb that asks you to trust time instead of quick fixes.
Let's move into something more concrete. Heart health is something everyone understands. It's relatable. And there are plants that have been used for heart support for so long and so consistently that modern science has actually studied them. Number 5, hibiscus, the red tea that's actually research-backed. Hibiscus is probably the most scientifically studied plant on this list for cardiovascular support. The dried flowers contain anthocyanins and polyphenols, compounds that multiple clinical studies have associated with cardiovascular wellness. I'm not saying it will replace medication. I'm saying that if you drink hibiscus tea regularly, research suggests you're supporting your cardiovascular system with compounds that have actually been tested. How much research? Enough that review papers exist. Cochrane reviews, the gold standard for systematic analysis, have examined hibiscus and cardiovascular function, and the findings are consistently positive for regular consumption. Here's what that means practically. Hibiscus is bright red, tart, and pleasant. You brew 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried hibiscus flowers in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The tea tastes slightly tart, not bitter. Some people add a touch of honey or lemon. You can drink 1 to 3 cups daily. One important note, if you're already on blood pressure medications, don't start hibiscus without checking with your doctor. Why hibiscus works this way? The compounds in hibiscus appear to support healthy blood pressure naturally. For anyone interested in plant-based cardiovascular support that's actually been studied, not just claimed, hibiscus is the red flower that has both traditional use and modern research backing it up.
Number 6. Hawthorn berry, the European heart tonic. If hibiscus is the research newcomer, hawthorn is the ancient established player. Hawthorn has been used in European herbalism for over 1,000 years. It's been cultivated in monastic gardens. It's mentioned in herbals going back centuries. And the reason is simple. People noticed that regular hawthorn use was associated with cardiovascular resilience. In traditional European herbalism, hawthorn wasn't just for someone with heart problems, it was considered a tonifying herb, a plant you'd use regularly to maintain heart health over time. The compounds in hawthorn, flavonoids and other polyphenols, support multiple aspects of cardiovascular function. Modern herbalists use hawthorn the same way. It's considered one of the foundational herbs for long-term heart support. Hawthorn comes as dried berries, which you simmer in water for 10-15 minutes. The taste is mildly fruity, slightly tart. You can also find hawthorn in standardized herbal extracts. Follow the label dosing for those. Traditional preparation, 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried berries simmered daily, or as a decoction that you sip throughout the day. Important note, if you're on cardiac medications, tell your healthcare provider you're using hawthorn. It's just that, like hibiscus, hawthorn supports healthy cardiovascular function, and if you're managing a condition with medication, coordination matters. Why hawthorn matters is exactly why it survived 1,000 years. It works. People used it, noticed results, and kept using it. That continuity of use across 1,000 years of European culture is meaningful data. For anyone wanting a traditional heart tonic with a legitimately long history of use, hawthorn berry is the herb that's been supporting cardiovascular health since before modern medicine existed.
Now, let's talk about something that's more aesthetic but still profound: skin and cellular support. Skin health isn't vanity, it's a reflection of internal nutrition. And there are plants that have been valued for centuries, specifically because of what they do for skin at a cellular level. Number 7. Sea buckthorn, the omega-7 anomaly. Here's a plant fact that's genuinely unusual. Most plant sources of omega fatty acids provide omega-3s or omega-6s. Very few plants contain meaningful amounts of omega-7. Sea buckthorn is one of the rare ones. Omega-7 is a fatty acid that's been studied for its role in supporting skin health, circulation, and cellular integrity. It's not as famous as omega-3, but it's increasingly recognized as important, and sea buckthorn is one of the only plants that provides it in meaningful amounts. The berries are bright orange, tart, and packed with this unique fatty acid profile. They've been used in traditional Tibetan medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and across northern Asia for centuries. Sea buckthorn comes as juice, concentrate that you dilute in water, as oil, usually 1 tablespoon daily, or as dried berries. The most practical is the juice concentrate, 1 tablespoon in a glass of water once daily. It's tart. Some people love it. Some add it to smoothies to balance the flavor. The oil has a more muted taste but stronger nutritional concentration. Sea buckthorn may have mild blood thinning properties. If you're on blood thinners or have a bleeding disorder, check with the healthcare provider first. Why sea buckthorn matters? It's the rare plant that provides a nutrient most of us can't get from anywhere else. That uniqueness, combined with thousands of years of traditional use, makes it worth knowing about. For anyone interested in skin and cellular support from a unique plant source, sea buckthorn is the orange berry that's been used for longevity across Asia for millennia.
Number 8. Rosehip, the vitamin C powerhouse.
Let me give you a number that's going to change how you think about vitamin C. Rosehip contains 4 to 5 times more vitamin C per gram than oranges. I'm not saying comparable to or as much as, I'm saying significantly more concentrated. Vitamin C is essential for collagen production, the protein that gives your skin elasticity, strength, and that quality of appearing youthful. Your body literally cannot produce collagen without adequate vitamin C. So if you want skin health from the inside, you need vitamin C. Rosehip has been used in traditional medicine across Europe and the Middle East for centuries, but mostly it was ignored in Western culture. We just didn't know, and we still mostly don't. Rosehip comes as dried berries or powder. You steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of powder in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The taste is tart, fruity, slightly sweet. It's actually quite pleasant. You can drink 1 to 2 cups daily. One important note. High vitamin C intake above 2,000 milligrams daily can increase kidney stone risk in susceptible people, and it can interfere with iron absorption tests. If you have a history of kidney stones or iron metabolism issues, don't go overboard. Why Rosehip works? The mechanism is straightforward. Vitamin C provides collagen production, which helps skin health. If you are looking for something to support skin health through cellular mechanisms rather than topical creams, Rosehip is the berry that's literally built for collagen support.
9 fennel seeds, the kitchen spice that's actually medicine. Fennel seeds are sitting in the spice aisle of your grocery store, and most people have no idea that they're actively supporting digestion every time they eat them. The seeds contain compounds called volatile oils, particularly a Nettle, that have been traditionally valued for easing digestive discomfort. Modern research has started investigating these compounds for their potential antispasm effects on the GI tract, which explains why fennel has been used after meals across so many cultures for so long. It's a plant that makes digestion work better, and we've known this for centuries. Here's how to use it. This is the simplest one yet. Steep 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The taste is mildly sweet, slightly licorice forward. You can drink this after meals or even chew the seeds directly, which is common across India, the Middle East, and Mediterranean cultures. Traditional use, after meals, 1 cup of fennel tea or 1 teaspoon of seeds chewed directly. Some people are sensitive to fennel. If digestive sensitivity is an issue for you, start small. But for the vast majority of people, fennel is completely safe and genuinely helpful. The compounds in fennel actually relax smooth muscle in the digestive tract. That's why it's been used for thousands of years. It works. For anyone wanting digestive support that comes from your spice cabinet, fennel seeds are the kitchen ingredient that's been medicine the whole time.
Number 10. Marshmallow root, the protective coating. Marshmallow root has one of the most straightforward mechanisms on this list. The root contains something called mucilage, a plant compound that forms a protective, soothing coating when combined with water. Imagine it like this. You're coating your digestive tract with a protective layer. That's particularly valuable if you're dealing with irritation or sensitivity. It's been used this way across European herbalism for centuries. And the mechanism is so straightforward that even modern herbalists who are skeptical of traditional claims acknowledge, yes, mucilage actually works for coating and soothing. This is where preparation matters. Marshmallow root needs a longer steep to release the mucilage. Steep 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried root in hot water for 20 to 30 minutes. The longer, the better. The result is a slightly thick, slippery liquid. The taste is mild, almost bland, which is fine because you're not taking it for flavor. Traditional use, 1 to 2 cups daily, taken 30 minutes before meals or between meals so it coats rather than dilutes your digestive acids. If you're on medications, take marshmallow at least 1 to 2 hours away from them because the mucilage can affect absorption of some medications. Coating isn't metaphorical. The mucilage literally creates a protective layer. For those wanting to support digestive comfort naturally, marshmallow root is the herb that literally wraps your system in protection.
Number 11, slippery elm, the soothing bark. Slippery elm is similar to marshmallow in mechanism, but different in source and strength. The inner bark of the slippery elm tree contains mucilage that soothes and protects digestive tissue. It's been used in North American herbalism for centuries. Indigenous peoples used it, and European settlers learned from them and adopted it. Slippery elm comes as a powder. Mix 1 to 2 tablespoons of powder with water. It creates a slippery, pleasant texture, hence the name. Mild, slightly woody, not unpleasant. Some people mix it with honey or add it to smoothies. One important note, like marshmallow, separate slippery elm from medications by 1 to 2 hours because the mucilage can affect absorption.
Why slippery elm? It works through a straightforward mechanism. You're coating irritated tissue with compounds that soothe. That's not complicated, it's effective. For anyone wanting to support digestive comfort using a plant that's been validated both traditionally and by modern regulatory bodies, slippery elm is the bark that's literally designed for soothing.
Now we're going to talk about a special one that provides immune support. Elderberry, the traditional winter herb. Elderberry has been used for centuries in European herbalism, particularly during winter months. Here's what's important to understand. Elderberry isn't a cure. Nobody claims it prevents illness entirely. What it does is support the body's natural immune response with compounds that research has begun investigating. The berries contain anthocyanins and other polyphenols. Research suggests these compounds support immune function. Is the evidence conclusive? Not yet. Is it promising enough that it's worth considering? Yes. The traditional use pattern is simple. During months when seasonal illnesses are common, people consume elderberry regularly, not as a cure for existing illness, but as preventative support. Here's how people can use it. This is crucial. Never use raw elderberries. They contain compounds that need to be processed. Use elderberry syrup. Commercial products are heat processed, dried berries brewed as tea, or standardized extracts. Typical use: 1 tablespoon of elderberry syrup daily during the months you want immune support, or 1 cup of brewed dried berry tea. Taste: if using syrup, it's actually pleasant, fruity and slightly sweet. The tea is deeper, more berry forward. One important note: elderberry may interact with immunosuppressive medications. If you take medication that suppresses immune function, post-transplant medications for example, check with a healthcare provider before using elderberry regularly. This is a plant that's been used for centuries for supporting immune function during challenging seasons, and modern research is starting to validate that use pattern.
The next one is super interesting and helps brain and cognitive function. Number 13, Bacopa Monnieri, the ancient cognitive support. Bacopa is interesting because it has both ancient use and modern research, though the research is newer and more limited than for some other plants on this list. In Ayurvedic medicine, Bacopa has been used for over 3,000 years as a plant valued for supporting cognitive function, memory formation, and focus. It's one of the foundational herbs in Ayurveda specifically for this purpose. Modern research has started investigating Bacopa's mechanisms. Studies suggest it contains compounds that support memory formation and cognitive clarity. The effect isn't immediate, it builds over weeks, but clinical studies have shown measurable improvements in memory and processing speed with consistent use. Here's the important part. Bacopa requires consistent use for 8 to 12 weeks before you notice effects. It's not like caffeine where you feel something in 20 minutes. It's a plant that works by gradually supporting cognitive function. Bacopa comes as a standardized extract, most common form. Standard dosing is 250 to 500 milligrams daily. Follow the label on your specific product. Bacopa leaf is quite bitter if you try to brew it fresh, so standardized extract is the practical choice. One important note: Bacopa is not recommended during pregnancy or nursing. If you're in either situation, skip it. Also, Bacopa may cause mild digestive effects in some people. If that happens, reduce dosage or discontinue. Why Bacopa works? The compounds in the plant, saponins and alkaloids, are being studied for how they support neurotransmitter function and nerve growth. The research is preliminary, but it's real. For anyone interested in supporting cognitive function over time using a plant with both ancient use and emergent modern research, Bacopa is the herb that's been valued for thousands of years and is finally getting scientific attention.
The next one is associated with energy and physical resilience. Number 14, Rhodiola rosea, the adaptogen for demand. Rhodiola is an adaptogen, and here's what that actually means. An adaptogen doesn't give you energy the way caffeine does. It helps your body respond to physical and mental demands more effectively. Your body has better resources to handle what's being asked of it. In traditional use across Russia and Scandinavia, Rhodiola was valued by athletes, workers in demanding conditions, and people managing high-stress periods. The logic was, Rhodiola helps the body adapt to demand. Modern research has supported this. Studies show that Rhodiola may support endurance, reduce perceived fatigue during stress, and support recovery from demanding activity. The effects build over 2 to 4 weeks, not immediately. Rhodiola comes as a standardized extract. Standard dosing is 250 to 600 milligrams daily. Follow your product's label. It takes 2 to 4 weeks to notice effects. One important note: Rhodiola has mild stimulant properties.
Don't take it in the evening or late afternoon. It can interfere with sleep. Take it in the morning with breakfast. Also, if you're pregnant, nursing, or on psychiatric medications, check with a healthcare provider before starting Rhodiola. Why Rhodiola works? It supports your body's production of compounds that help manage stress and maintain energy during demanding periods. For anyone dealing with genuinely demanding periods, whether physically, mentally, or both, Rhodiola is the adaptogen that's been supporting people through challenge for centuries.
Finally, we're ending on something gentle, because sometimes the most profound thing you can do for your health is support your nervous system's ability to calm and rest. Number 15, Passionflower, the ancient relaxant. Passionflower has been used for centuries across Europe and Latin America, specifically to support relaxation and sleep. The plant contains flavonoids and alkaloids, compounds that research suggests may support the nervous system's ability to calm. If you take it and then try to sleep, sleep becomes easier. Passionflower has been used in European herbalism for over 300 years. It's in the traditional pharmacopoeias of multiple European countries. That kind of consistency across centuries and cultures matters. Here's how to use it. Brew 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried passionflower leaf in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. The taste is mild, slightly grassy, pleasant. You can drink 1 to 2 cups in the evening, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Alternatively, passionflower is available as a standardized extract or tincture. Follow the label dosing. One important note, passionflower may cause drowsiness. Don't combine it with sedatives or alcohol. And if you're pregnant, nursing, or on psychiatric medications, check with a healthcare provider first. Why passionflower works? The compounds in the plant interact with the nervous system in ways that support relaxation. That's not metaphorical, that's pharmacology. For anyone dealing with racing thoughts at night, difficulty settling into sleep, or just wanting to support your nervous system's natural ability to rest, passionflower is the flower that's been supporting peace for centuries.
So here's what we've covered. 15 plants. Each one does something that supplements promise to do. Each one has been used for decades, centuries, or thousands of years, and each one is available if you know where to look. The reason these plants have been forgotten in Western culture has nothing to do with whether they work. It has to do with economics. Supplements are profitable. Plants are not. You can't patent Moringa. You can't trademark Nettle. And that's actually the point. These plants are available to you right now. Some you can grow, some you can wild harvest safely. All of them can be bought, dried, and prepared in your kitchen. If this video showed you something you didn't know, something that changes how you think about what's possible with actual plants instead of processed supplements, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm understand that this content matters to people. Drop a comment and tell me, which one of these plants are you most excited to try? Are you team foundational nutrition, team adaptogens, team digestive support? I read every comment and I genuinely want to know which plant shifted your perspective. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? We post videos every week about what's actually possible when you work with nature instead of trying to buy replacements for it. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video that could change how you think about nutrition, health, and what's growing right outside your door. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.